Hello, you wonderful one. Welcome back to the seat of the Maloka. Over the last two episodes, we have been sitting with the question of alignment. How we know when a path no longer fits and what holds steady when the plans fall apart. Today, I want to go underneath all of it. The thing my art therapy teacher kept pointing at for years before I finally understood what she meant. She would look at my work and say, "It needs to land, it's too airy. Bring the matter." I had no idea what she was talking about. It took me 16 years of art therapy work and a cafe being built in Goa to finally understand. This episode is about learning to land. Until recently, my art therapist would look at my paintings and say the same thing again and again. Your work needs to land. It needs matter. It's too airy. And the strange part, even the air in my paintings wouldn't move. It had no lightness or movement. It was just stuck. So I was challenged at both ends at once. The work wouldn't land and the air wouldn't breathe either. Land, hold your ground. Those words were alien to me, like instructions in a language I had never learned. So I learned to stay where I was, stuck somewhere up in the air. And for a very long time, I told myself that floating above the mundane was being close to the gifts I had. I needed to be in the air to stay connected to the energy and divine. That keeping things moving, never committing to one form, never letting anything take permanent shape, that was freedom. But I have slowly come to understand, if it is truly all that is, if the divine is everywhere, then it is in all of it. Not only in the light and the transcendent, it is also in the mundane work, in the repetitive, boring things, in the daily chores. The whole point of taking a human form is to experience it here, in the body, in the doing. Not to hover above human life, but to live inside it. Staying in the air is not spirituality, it is avoidance with a spiritual label on it. Since being in Goa, I often look outside my windows at the clouds. They change their shape and form so often that you look away for a moment and look back, they're already something else. Nothing about them is permanent, and one day watching them, something struck me. As per Indian philosophy, we are made of five elements. Air is thought, the mind and its movement. Fire is passion, the energy that moves us to act. Water is emotion, the feeling that flows through everything. And earth is form, the things that take shape and stay. And ether is the space that holds all of it. When the air is stuck, when the mind cannot move freely, fire cannot do its work because fire needs air to ignite. And when fire is not ignited, water will take over. Emotions will move in and overpower everything. And with all of this going on, earth cannot form. Nothing can take shape or land. That was me for years. And I want to go one layer deeper here because this is the part that took me the longest to see. Permanence, that scared me. To commit to one thing fully was frightening. So I kept moving things. I moved the furniture at home constantly. I changed my programs, my teachings, the way I offered the work. The moment anything started to settle into a shape, I rearranged it. And it was not because the work was not good. People came, they understood, they were helped. But anything taking real form meant I would have to own it completely. And that felt like a responsibility I was not sure I could carry. What if the newness wore off? What if I couldn't do the justice to it? What if? So I kept myself solid. And every time I began to breathe, every time the ground started to emerge under me, I made sure everything stayed exactly as it was. And underneath the fear of commitment, something else was also present. Staying in the air also felt like a connection. Like if I gave into the ground, if I brought things into form, let them become real and permanent and mine, I might lose the connection with that divine. That the divine lived up there in the floating, and coming down into the ordinary would mean losing access to it. And that fear kept me suspended for years. And what I am learning now is that holding the ground means repetitive work, daily chores, the same things done again and again, long past the point where they feel new or exciting. In the beginning, there is no freedom in it. It feels like the opposite of freedom. But freedom was never an escape. The freedom is in embracing all of it, the earth and the fire and the water and the air and the ether, not choosing the ones that feel easy and avoiding the ones that demand. And this is what building Maloka is teaching me. Maloka is asking me finally to hold the ground, to commit to one form, to stop rearranging and simply serve. There is no escaping into newness here. A cafe is being built brick by brick, day by day, the same work repeated until it stands. And the ego death that I'm experiencing in this process is real. The old ways of thinking are falling away. Old memories are surfacing and loosening their grip. I feel myself being emptied out. To be honest, that emptiness is a little frightening too. When you have spent your whole life keeping things in motion, stillness can be unsettling. I'm releasing so much, and I do not yet know what will come to fill the space. I don't have the answer, and I'm standing in the not knowing. But for the first time, I'm not moving the furniture. I'm letting the ground hold me. And I'm waiting to see what wants to take shape. So the question I want to leave you with this week is this. Where in your life are you staying in the air? Not because you are committed to the divine, but because landing feels too permanent, too responsible, too real. Here is what I know now. The divine is not only in the floating, it is in the landing too. It is in the repetitive work, the daily chores, the brick by brick building of something real. The ground is not the opposite of freedom. The ground is what makes freedom possible. What is asking you to land right now? Thank you so much for being here with me today. I will see you in the next one. I'm keeping you in my heart. So much love to you.